Hi guys, welcome to the first episode of building a website from scratch. So basically what I'm going to do is pick a niche, go over everything what I do when building a website, get it set up on hosting, find the monetizations, the link baits, how to do the content. Writing the content, I will mainly be using AI with this, but there's going to be a lot of human edited and custom chat GPTs which are going to be involved to make the content better. Ranking it and getting it set up on ad networks and affiliate programs and stuff like that. So this first episode is mainly going to be talking about the theory, picking the niche and going over the competitors, because that's very important when trying to do any sort of strategy. You want to make sure you have all the competitors lined up. Not only for content, you want it for monetization, how they're getting links, everything. So when you're getting into any site, even if you've got a site now, you definitely want to go through the competitors. And we'll go through sheets like this with link bait and all stuff like that. And we'll go through everything from start to finish. But here's where we're going to start. So we're going to start with the first index theory. And I first heard this by Charles Floate at Birmingham. I think I might have mentioned it before, but that's kind of where it stuck in my head. So it's basically creating a full site setup with topic clusters and all your pages before letting the search engines index your site, because when the search engines first index your site, it stays in Google for 2 years, and it kind of plays in with the content quality score, which I will probably jump onto in the next video, because that's actually really important and it's good to know, especially when you've already got an established site and you're building content. But for now, let's go with this. So the first index theory, we want to basically get all the pages. So we want to set up the about page, contact page, have a navigational home page, and then easy to navigate for users and search engines. So that basically just means setting up a proper menu in the header, and you want a proper footer as well. So make sure it's really easy to navigate for basically the search engines to go through the different categories and hubs, and for people to also search. And we want the privacy policy page, advertising disclosure if we're going to be doing affiliates. And then what I like to do, because it's quite big, EEAT, you want the about page and like author pages to be quite like prominent about the site. So what I do a lot of siloing for my content. So I like to have the about page, so it'd be domain.com/about-us and then / and then it'll be the authors. And then I do the same for like a team page. So if there's going to be more than one author, I want a team page as well as the author page. And the same with the contact page. So I want the contact page to be leading from the About Us page. Plus, you don't really want the well, I certainly don't anyway. I never leave the contact information too easy to basically contact me, because it's a pain in the ass with all the spam emails you get. So I basically hide it behind the About Us page, and it works quite well. And then the privacy policy page, I leave this separate rather than having it behind the About page. That doesn't really make too much sense, and no real sites do that. But for like the advertising disclosure, like terms and conditions, and then an editorial policy, if you want to create that, so you can say this site's not created by AI, blah blah blah. So you can put all that behind the About Us page, because this all goes quite nicely together, and it basically flushes out your site to be a proper website. But Charles also mentions about the topical clusters. So it's not just about these pages, it's also about mapping out your content. So first I'm going to do to go through like the niche selection, and then I'm going to talk about topical clusters. But basically what you want to do, depending on how big your niche is, you want to set up your categories and make sure you have content in each section. And I like to do that first. So say if it's like a more of a hub, I like to do like 30 posts in like each different category, kind of see what Google likes your website for. And then if it starts ranking in a certain category, then basically build out that cluster and that map a lot more. Right, so let's go to niche selection. Let's get rid of this because we'll be doing the topical map live. I just prepared all this information to make it a bit quicker because it's going to be a bit of a long video. So niche selection, you've basically got it carry on narrowing down. So you can talk about pets, which is really broad. Then you can just talk about dogs, which is narrowed down a bit, but it's still massive. Then you can narrow it down a bit more and talk about basically like handbag dogs or like hunting dogs, which is basically a different selection. It's a lot narrower, still a bit more niche. This is where I like to generally build my sites, in this sort of area. And then you got a website which is talking about all chihuahuas. So there's pros and cons to everything. If you're basically just talking about chihuahuas, it's very it is very niche down, but you can't really expand. There's always going to be like a limit to the website. If you're talking about something like handbag dogs, you can do like I was mentioning with all the different categories of like chihuahuas and all the basically little dogs, and you can talk about each one rather than just getting stuck on one topic basically. And then if you find out like one content strategy works for one, you can do it in all the others as well. And as you can imagine, like each of these cost more money, so like, and then this would be only like $1. So like the broader the niche, the more content that you're going to need, the more links you're going to need, the more like authority, the more EAT. It's going to be harder to rank. This is going to be a lot easier to rank, and it's going to cost a lot less money. So you got to kind of decide where you want to be. There's going to be a cap here. There's not really going to be a cap here. So it's one of those for niche selections. But like I say, I always go for this. So how to choose the niches? So there's so many ways to go through basically niche selection. I basically like monetization more than anything. So I always look how a niche can be monetized. And you can use all tools like SEMrush, which we're going to be jumping into later, Ahrefs and all that. But you can do stuff like Wikipedia. So hobbies are always a good niche to get into because monetization's key, basically. So hobbies, you do get like a lot of either digital products or courses with those. So that's kind of where the money is with most niches, is on the digital aspects, because you can sell it to a wider range of people. People are interested in hobbies, and it works quite well. So for this example, for the site I'm going to build out, it's going to be a hobby niche. So I'll put the link to this in the description. So you'll find loads of hobbies here, all like indoors, like painting, just literally everything. And you can click in and go. Sailing's quite good. You can literally click in and go deeper and niche down more. So it doesn't have to be yoga. You can talk about the different types of yoga and like niche down into a certain category. So what we got, competition. So like a competition website would be quite good. You've got so much different topics to talk about. And we'll scroll down a bit more. So I've actually already picked the niche and I've already bought the website. So I actually bought it end of November, and it's been basically in my back pocket waiting to be used. And I decided to go for observation hobbies just because it was a little bit different. Not too many people really talk about it too much. So you got like microscopy, like using the microscopes, checking stuff out. We can talk about reading. So you can do indoors and outdoors. I'm probably going to do both. I'm not too sure how I'm going to segment this yet, if I'm going to have like a indoors tab and then outdoors tab. I'll probably do it as a tag more than like a silo category separation, just because there's not going to be too many indoor hobbies, and it's mainly going to be outdoor. So I'll see how I'm going to play that out when we do the niche research, but you can separate it doing it that way. And this is where I kind of pick the niche, because astrology is really good. Bird watching is quite good. I know Julian Goldie's been creating an AI site about bird watching, about birds. So I'm probably going to leave this topic off, but that's always a nice one to expand into. We've got geology as well, which is good. College football, which is, you can probably class it as an observation hobby if you want to kind of branch out a little bit more, but I'm probably not going to touch on that. Geocaching, I'll probably do geocaching because that's pretty unique. Meteorology, I'm definitely going to be doing that. Parkour, probably not. That seems a bit of a stretch. People watching, I will end up doing people watching just because there's probably going to be a lot of informational keywords, which will be quite easy to target as well. And then you could obviously do travel as well, but that's a bit of a stretch as well. So let's go back to the... Right, forget you've seen this. We're going to scroll this down. This is probably going to be for the next video when we actually jump into the content. So with the topical map, let's maybe just do maybe not gonna do it this way, but I'll just do it as a separator. Okay, so we're gonna do this. There's probably an easier way with this software as well to actually create the mind maps. I'm pretty sure you can, but for now I will just do it this way. And we'll probably want to separate this a little bit more. Okay, so we'll probably do reading. Reading is a very broad topic. So doing it this way as well, as you can imagine, it's going to be, because it's quite a higher up hub, it's probably not even in this selection. I'd probably say it's like closer to here, just because you've got so many different sub niches in this. So it's going to be quite a big site, but with the help of AI, it makes it a lot easier to build out these sort of websites now. And as you can imagine, it also takes a lot more time with keyword research and everything like that, just because it's such a big site. Right. So we got a massive hub here. This is going to be a huge website. What we want to do now, well, it's up to you how you kind of want to do this, but for me, when I do anything like this, I want to do niche research on basically each of these topics to find the keywords for each section, the golden gems. Because it's a bigger site, it's going to take a little bit longer. So with the niche research, I've built a sheet like this. It's basically similar to, if not more or less the same as the Authority Hacker sheet. I've changed it to SEMrush, added links tab and changed it up a little bit, but it's very similar just because their course and how they do their processing works. So there's no point changing it when it's working. So what we want to do is astronomy. Let's find some websites. I'm going to start with, that's a very best X for Y, isn't it? I'll start with this, Skynet Magazine. And we want to find niche websites. So we want websites just solely on the topic, and then it'd be a lot easier to get their content basically. So we've actually got cameras in here. So like, as you're going through these websites as well, it's important to check how they monetize and if there's any extra subcategories or anything extra in. So like observation hobbies, we could probably do a hub for cameras. So let's even add cameras in. I definitely won't be adding cameras in until probably at least year 2. Just because there's going to be so much content and so much going on, it's kind of pointless trying to break into that niche because it's a very competitive niche as it is. So I don't really see the point of me starting it. Let's have a look at this. Like, if this is the content, I think we're going to do quite well. Okay. Spacecraft launches. It's going to be a a pretty interesting topic. You also can do like plane watching. We've got quite a few here, haven't we? So let's do. Let's just do something like that for now. Space.com, that's a pretty good domain name. Yeah, so you got the basically best X for Y. These are the sort of content which is going to earn you the money, but we'll go through those afterwards. This is going to be in the later portion of the video. Cool, so these sites actually look quite good. So all I'm going to do is copy the URL into here. So what we've done that one. I've actually just bought a single word domain. I don't know if I mentioned it before. And I'm going to be doing the exact same process for that. It's going to be a little bit more detailed, so I'm going to basically be using scrapers and ChatGPT, and it's going to be a bit of a complicated process, so I'm not going to be doing it live, but I will be touching on it, and it's going to be basically doing it the same as this. I'm basically going to go all in on it this year, so I'll be doing it live, and I'll be releasing the domain in the next few weeks, so stay tuned for that. But it's nice to see like the wait times and stuff are quite far, well, quite far down here. Usually with pretty much any topic now, you'll see like Forbes and those sort of magazines ranking at the top. We got a forum. This is interesting. Could be a good one to check out. No doubt that'll pop up later on a few times. So like all of these, like when we're actually building it out, there's a lot of a lot of information and a lot of subtopics within each of these. So it's basically when we're doing these topical maps, it's about choosing what we want to target. So we want to create like clusters of content around like each section. So we want to dive in and basically find out which section we're going to go through first, add a bunch of content around each one, and make basically make the maps and make the clusters set up for Google. So to basically show we're an expert and we know what we're talking about on those certain topics. So when I'm usually doing this, I usually want to map out as many niche sites as possible. A lot of these don't really seem too niche sitey. This is why I kind of go for the best sort of keywords first, because the more the review keywords, it's more going to be like a niche site rather than a store. So I'm going to leave this site out. So we've already done this. Okay. So this is another store. Let's check this. Let's check that. So like Mashable, like these sort of sites you want to leave. Just because it's not like a niche website and they talk about so many different topics, it's just going to be too many keywords you're going to be pulling in. we've not really, there we go. We've not really got too much going on, to be honest with you. Like this I wouldn't pull in as well because it's digital camera world. It's not really, that's basically their sub niche. It's not really their main topic. It's another store. Like these sort of sites are perfect. This is what we're after. Is this I thought it was that carbonate theme. I quite like it. Looks to be different. Cool. So usually I would want, depending obviously the niche, there's usually like 20 odd which I kind of go through at least. But obviously we've got all the subtopics, so I'm gonna go through these, get the rest of this kind of set up, and kind of go through the link bait in the keywords section, and then I'll probably go through and do a few more of these individual topics, just so you don't have to basically keep watching the same thing over and over again. I'll maybe include something if it's interesting, but that's pretty much the whole process. So it's kind of it's a manual process, and you just have to basically go with it. Got to get it done. Okay, so let's go. So we want to be on domain overview, and we want the authority score, and then so I'm going to do worldwide traffic, but this is pretty interesting. So I'm actually going to target the US market, but this is kind of weird because all the traffic's coming from Canada, even though it's like a .com and stuff like that. So it's probably worth checking out the tag and seeing why it's all coming from Canada. So it might be an interesting thing for the content to maybe include some Canadian phrases, or astrology in Canada, is it better than the US, blah blah blah. Like there's a lot of topics come up just because of that. And then also when we're trying to find these niches, because we've just done a manual Google search for like best X for Y keyword, we'll get all these niches, and then when we're actually putting them in, we can check the map and find if there's any different keywords here, any different websites should I say. So that's kind of how we start off. So best X for Y, put the list in, and then start putting them all through into SEMrush, and then find if there's any extra keywords. And then this score, traffic over authority score, will basically give you a good understanding how well the site's doing for the authority it has. So it's basically just a little metric to understand the site a little bit better, because a lot of people get caught up with like, oh, it's got a massive authority score, but it'll have like low traffic. So it's interesting. That's going to be absolutely loads. So maybe I'm going to get rid of space, just because it's not really a niche site, and it's going to be a pain in the ass to add all the content to. So this would probably be a future check. Just because I can't be asked to actually go through it. But there might be some interesting. So we've got NASA, and then yeah, cool. Okay. And moon and back. It might be worth actually going through and just checking if there's anything else. So telescope.com. I don't think we found the scope views one before. What am I doing? Let's just check scope views. Damn. I wasn't expecting that. So this looks like an old school website. Let's see if it's actually ranking for anything. Yeah, it's getting quite a lot of traffic, so we definitely want to add this into the list. Which one was we on? Starry Night Mag. So you can kind of see the numbers are coming, making a little bit more sense now. This is probably not going to be too much of a niche website as well, but yeah, it's more of an authority website, but I'm going to chuck it in anyway because there might be a few keywords which look good. Looks to be a fairly new site. So yeah, as you can see, like if you saw that, it wouldn't look the best, but it's actually got a higher rating than the other like little sites we've done so far. So it's definitely a good site to check out. And we actually want to see if there's any competitors here which we've not picked up. So Love the Night Sky, Constellation Guide. When you actually check out these smaller niche sites, you'll end up finding a lot more niche sites as well. So it's where you kind of want to be looking the map, especially for looks to be more informational, but this looks like a really good site to add onto the list. So where's that Starfax? Do Starfax. Kind of pain in the ass, you can't open it into a new tab. Cool, so Starfax, let's check this out. Ooh, have we already got this one? Nope. courses, which is quite nice. It looks like it's a shop. This is why it's always good not to just add them. You kind of want to double check the websites manually. Let's check what the courses they have. So it's an email video course. So there's potentially something we can do as a lead magnet. Telescopes is 2022. Never put the numbers in the URL, because when you want to update the content, it's kind of doesn't work unless you want to create a new URL. It's nice, nice table and nice bit of content. It's you don't really see that a lot for an e-com site. So usually I wouldn't really add this because it's not an affiliate, it's actually sending people to their own shop, I'm pretty sure. But it looks to have a lot of good content on, so definitely going to add it in. Astro Backyard, to be smashing it. Let's check what these are doing. So with these, a lot of them do actually seem to be more on the store side, but oh no, okay, so this is an affiliate. I was going to say a lot of them do tend to be on the store side, which I've seen, but they've still got a lot of content on, which is usually you don't see that with e-com sites anymore. They don't really look into the SEO aspect and don't really try and add content anymore, which is a shame. A lot of them can literally smash it just by pumping out a bit of content. Oops. Let's have a look. Astro Backyard, the planets. Should we try that one? So it's one of them. You basically go down a rabbit hole and you'll keep finding more and more Galactic Hunter. That could be a good one. You'll keep finding more and more domains to check out. Astro Bin. And there'll be a few in here which are basically ideal. You'll find a lot of different keywords and a lot of little hidden tactics which a lot of people miss out on. That's why you want to get a good map of every competitor out there, basically. Consultant services, books. What sort of traffic is this? Okay, I'll add it in. It's not really the best kind of niche site, but could be some good content there. In fact, let's just check the map. I think I saw one of the a different site. We did Astro Bin. Okay, Astro Bin. Let's check this one out. Okay, looks to be a bit of software instead, so that's no good. This is pretty much where the keyword research tools really come in handy, because obviously you can get a lot of information from Google and just starting off the searches, which is pretty much the starting point where I always do, but you miss out on a lot of extra websites if you're not using like the competitor map and stuff like that. Okay, this is a random one. Let's check. We'll chuck this in as well. A lot of these sites, it does look like they've been getting... Oh, so this has actually gone down quite a while, but a lot of them have been getting hammered in the helpful content update, if you've been looking at that. Was that just a... Okay. No. Sea and sky, so observation hobbies could be something to do with the sea as well. I quite like the idea of this website's premise. It's obviously pretty old. Let's have a look. What sort of... Yeah, 70 traffic. Deep sea creatures. I'm not going to include this just because it's going to get pretty confusing with the sea sort of keywords. So I'm just going to put a note there rather than just jumping into my notes in a different tab. I'll look at that later on for my own personal checking it out. Planets for kids. Let's check space facts. So we're actually starting to get a decent list now. So we're going to find a lot of decent keywords going through all this. Let's have a look. So this seems to be a bit of a bigger site again. Star name registry. That's interesting. Okay, let's check out this. I hate menus when they're like this, but there's so much information on this website by the look of it. Reminds me of a PBN site. Right, let's chuck this in. This is probably not going to be a niche site, but there might be interesting monetization. Star name deed. I remember seeing stuff like this for buying land in Scotland so you can become a lord. It's pretty interesting how they're doing it. Usually I'd maybe save this as a monetization method, because maybe they have an affiliate program or you can actually set up your own business doing this, but it's going to take too much work. So for now, I'm not going to bother with it. Let's close this off. Check this site. I'm gonna leave this one, I think. While you're doing this as well, you want to be trying to take everything in, because I know nothing about this niche. You want to be looking at all these sort of different keywords and tips and strategies and all the different settings like software, and it kind of gets you built up a picture in your head of how you can structure the website as well. And you don't really get that until you actually go through all these websites and check everything out and see what people are talking about. You need to be doing that to get a better understanding of the niche. Basically, you need to put in the work, put in the 30 minutes we've been doing it now, not too long, to actually go through and get a good picture. Let me check that. It's a good site. Well, it was a good site till August. Those are too small. Okay. So this site is tiny. There's probably going to be nothing there, but I'll keep it in anyway. Let's see. Okay, so do we include this? Yeah. So that's pretty much how I would structure it. So you can kind of see like which is the better sites. So we'll go. So according to the score, like this recent sites we just checked out are not very good compared to the authority score. Obviously, authority score and the traffic metrics are not fully accurate. It's just kind of their metric, but these sort of sites are the ones which are the top tier according to SEMrush and actually diving into the data. That's pretty much it for this section. So what else do we need to cover? So that's pretty much what I do for getting all this ready for the keywords. And then basically for the keyword research, so let me get my thoughts together. So basically, because we've mapped out all these and I've kind of seen the different menus and the topics, so I kind of get a good idea of like the basically the extra like telescopes and stuff like that. So you get the extra hubs underneath the main topic, but instead of just doing this as we've done the process so far, what I like to do now is go through and pull in all the keywords from all these websites, put them into a master sheet. So I've created a keyword sheet here, but it's probably going to be too much information to actually even have on this sheet. So I put every single keyword in here and then filter and then remove the duplicates and then do a lot of filter and process. And then that will give me the list of keywords which I kind of want to target. And then that will help me pick the categories. So instead of just adding loads of different categories, I'm only going to add the ones which I'm going to do the topical map and the topical clusters around. That way it's more efficient. I'm not creating pages with like no information in. It's creating actual topics which I'm going to do keywords for and do keyword research for. So that's kind of how I would continue with the topical map rather than doing it off the bat. I kind of want to do the keyword research first and go for it that way. So that's it for this video. Hopefully you've learned something and enjoyed the process what I've gone through so far. In the next video I'll do the keyword research, finish off building out the topical map, and I'll probably build out one or two more of these categories, but I'll do this off camera because you don't really need to see it again if you've already done it once. But the next video we'll do keyword research, and then I'll touch on the Google quality score as well. And hopefully, depending on how long it takes in the next video, we'll jump into creating the first bit of content. Alright, catch you later. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more updates.